All right, folks, another great interview time. This guy is in the house. How you doing, Roman? It's good to have you back, my friend.
I am well. Thank you for having me back. It's been maybe a year or so, I think, since I've
Yeah,
been here.
you were in the you were in the rotation last year, so it's good to have you back and do it again. I got my note sheet out here to make sure I put links, all the links that I'll need to make sure I try to remember to add. So I will make sure I put that "What's your story" in there for Roman. Also, I want to just put a link there for that old man Logan conversation that we had. I know other people were on with
That
us,
was
and
that was a great talk.
yeah,
Uh,
that was a fun one. So that was good. But I thought it was a good chance for us to catch up, maybe dust off some other things that you're doing and working on, advice for others, those kinds of things is what we're going to do to hang out here. And I'm sure you'll throw questions and comments my way as well. It's always a good time. So good. It's
it,
good.
it is, it is. So
Uh, Life
it's
gets in
been a
the way.
dynamic year, though. It has.
Yeah,
It's just so busy since the last time we talked. It's just and a lot of it is. I mean, it's not the creative aspect of your life that keeps you all the busy stuff. It's all the other stuff. The House of the Empire and all the things you have to do, and the children's, God love them,
the
pet
children of the
stuff,
empire, the
the
house of the
children, and
empire.
as we're getting older now, I'm worrying, I'm having to, it's the adult children of aging parents portion of things that is now pulling, that string as well. So it's a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. But yeah.
Do you have it? Do you have advice for the people who are like right behind us, like the 40-year-olds? Like now that we're looking at that AARP letter is going to start way sooner than it needs to, but it does
Yeah,
happen
it's
soon.
it it's like shows up when you're 50. The thing is it's like there's someone knocking at the door and they're
No,
holding the sign up. You're
55s,
50
they just start.
now.
Yeah,
Um,
55. They're just letters that evidently just start coming and stuff regularly. So, what should we say to like the 40-year-olds behind us?
boy, I mean, one of the best things, and this is kind of common sense, but what does that mean? Is to take care of yourself so that remember your parents aren't getting younger, and that's when you're in your 40s, you're still not thinking about it unless your parents were significantly older than you, like more than the general 20-year span that I think a lot of them are, especially in the modern era. um, they're not getting younger though, and the dynamic of the world is different now. Most people are not in the hometown where their folks are. Everybody's scattered to the wind, and you have to make. I'm now at the phase where I'm having to make trips places. So I had to go out to Colorado to visit my wife's folks. Um, my wife and I can't travel together because of my daughter. One of us always has to be here. So she went out earlier this year. I went out last month, and then later this year in the fall, I have to go visit Pop of the Empire out in on the East Coast. And this is and my life. My life is not an easy thing. It's a house of cards all the time. There's one thing comes out and it all goes to disaster. So traveling isn't easy, but it's like I said, everybody's getting older, so you have to try to wedge out these points when you can go out and see the folks, because it's sad. I don't want it's not to be morbid, but everybody's in the window now after a certain age. So you have to think about that and not just to go, well, I can get out there next year because, what is next year? You don't necessarily know if that's even going to make it. And then, of course, being now we're the parents of adult children. That's a whole different dynamic. I, I miss ages 3 to 9. I think that was my favorite run. Uh, they're small, they're easy to manage. You get to make the vast majority of decisions. They can have a little bit of input, but it just, only so much. And life is good. But now, they're dealing with their own issues. They're dealing with job stuff. Just other elements that are invading their worlds, dealing with other entities who owe them money, not like friends who owe them money, but business entities that owe them money. And how do you approach that? How do you go into that world without you don't want to step on toes, and you don't want to give them bad advice either. And you can only be so involved in your adult children's lives. You can offer some advice, but I mean, ultimately, it's up to them as to where they're going to go with that, and then how much of a net are you going to provide if things don't go as planned. So it's a you have to get your head around a lot of different management styles as someone of our age looking at both our parents and our adult children. It's just a weird place to be. You don't kind of creeps up on you too. You're not thinking about it, and then suddenly you're just there.
I love the term you threw manager in there, and that was part of my because there's a couple of different things that we can parse out from that, and that's with the kids when they're young, you're the manager of their life, and then you become kind of a counselor, and then it becomes a part-time advisor. Like you're barely, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's a very difficult balance that no one prepared me for, and I did massively wrong. And I've been trying to figure out how to navigate that. I couldn't get out of management role, and then I thought I should be doing, and it's also you are different than the misses. So it's like
Yeah.
and they pick up on that, especially as they get older, and that can create strife between the two of us because it's like, well, they know they want to navigate this type of advisor or this type of counselor, but not the other one, and vice versa. And it's just it's a lot of things that folks I think should think about. I wish I'd been thinking about this a little bit sooner in my 40s. Not I mean, you can't prepare for everything, but I think if you got a kid right now who is, let's say, between 14 and 20, this is the phase that's going to be coming your way. You have to figure out how to completely change your mindset to understand you're going to be coming into kind of an advisory role, but as soon it's going to be like contracted. Like they're barely going to want to know, but when they want to know, they need to know. So it's just a difficult thing.
Well, it is, and you're right. No one prepared you for this. I mean, and quite honestly, I mean, and you have to look at it from where our age group came from in the world of parenting. Our parents had their parents' world was very different. I mean, the world from when we were kids to now is an extremely different place. So where we go is largely, I think this our generation, pardon me, is in somewhat uncharted territory with like I said, with everybody being spread out, even our kids. I mean, my son Jake of the Empire is still here, but my the middle daughter of the Empire is 3,000 miles away. So having to deal with that dynamic is still a very different thing as well. And I guess you always expect your kids to be close and near you, but then they're not. And trying to advise from 3,000 miles away, it's not the same as if they're right there and they can just come over and you can coddle them because you can't. I mean, and that approach only goes so far anyway. But you're dealing with rent, you're dealing with, hey, something's wrong in the apartment, hey, boyfriend issues, all the other stuff that like I said, you're not just right there. And and you're dealing with time differences and work schedules now as well. So it's a lot. It's a layer cake of crazy uh parenting at this age.
What do you say about advice you might have for the other part of what we talked about was that um, you went from a point where you were having, that type of relationship with our parents, and now we're moving slower into either management or um, some sort of hard decision, like when you have to start going, well, you might have to like, I don't know your situation, but I'll just say like assisted living, or they may have to have, you shouldn't be
Right.
driving anymore. And how do we get you groceries? And, oh, you've locked yourself out of this account again, or maybe you shouldn't give money to this person that's called you on the phone. And just all of that is the other dynamic that we're not prepared for. There's no manual for that either. What are some
Right,
of the
and that's
things
all
or
new. A
advice?
lot of that is all new,
Right.
because
So what's some of
that's
your
not our
life
world.
lessons from
It's
that? Yeah.
and so everybody in my current sphere is capable. Some are more capable than others as far as like their technology use and understanding goes. Um, but man, it's hard though because when you aren't there, like I said, most of the my parents' stuff that I'm dealing with are not close. They're not there. We're not in the same neighborhood. And it's not just, hey, I can be there in a couple hours necessarily. Um, Communication, I mean, and I think we talked about that last time I was on here when during this kids discussion, or I may be confused because I'm not a young man myself. But communication is always the best thing. Knowing where they are and what's going on in their lives, uh, talking about the parents as well as the kids, helps you to figure out what you're going to need to do to help them out if you have a sick parent. I mean, if everybody has a spouse, it makes it easier, because then someone else is at least helping, unless they're both, in trouble. But that I don't, that one I don't even know how to deal with myself because I'm not there. Um, but like I said, the comms are the most important thing because then you know what you need to do to respond, or you can at least plan a bit in advance for, okay, I'm gonna have to make a trip out at this point, or if things just suddenly drop out. I'm, Mrs. of the Empire and I are fortunate we have each other, so that if something does happen, one of us can go, but one of us always has to maintain here at the Empire. It's tough because of the computer age, the internet, the phone call stuff, all this stuff. There were scams going on when we were younger, but they weren't quite so direct, where the scammer can call and say, hey, the Nigerian prince, or I need your social security number to reactivate your credit card, that kind of stuff. I mean, like I said, fortunately, everyone in my sphere is capable enough not to have those issues. There's health issues going on our side of things, and that's the scary part about the age that they're reaching. Is there that's just some of it is worse than others, but it's at the 70 and plus age bracket. It's not an unexpected thing. And I mean, you have to mentally prepare for that as much as you can. Know that it's coming. They aren't going to live forever. We're not going to live forever. You know, accept that, and look down the road at markers. They're this old now. They're doing okay, but 5 years from now, are they going to be okay? 10 years from now, are they going to be here? Those are the things getting in your head at our age that you just kind of have to do, and something will happen that makes you think about it. And my wife lost her mother back in 2020. Um, it was it was not altogether unexpected, but the timing of it was unexpected.
Hmm.
So that was a shock, and that was kind of the first, tremor in our world of aging parents that we've had a loss now, and that's that's also a very hard thing to deal with. At our age, we had, all the parents have been intact, and then they're not. And that's something just you have to prepare for. Even if you know it's coming, it's still not going to be easy.
You started with kind of the hardest one, right? We should be taking better care of ourselves. So
Yes.
I guess we get to put on our grandpa hats, even our dad hats, whatever. It's like lecture everybody that they probably should be smoking less, drinking less, staying up till 2 a.m. for no reason less. Trying to at least be mobile in some way, shape, or form to keep
Yes.
certain, don't ignore the random knee slash back pain, headaches, your eyes. Just, I know it sounds ridiculous. We literally sound like a 70-year-old man. We're trying to, I think, I don't know about you, but I feel like a lot of the retirees, not just my immediate family, but other retirees that I've been subjected to, there's not a lot of planning for what they're going to do in their retirement, and they've
No.
negated taking care of their health so much that it's been an eye opener for me. It's like, number one, I have no problem being retired tomorrow because I could just do my nerd stuff and I'm totally active and do my thing. Right? We get that.
Yep.
However, I have not been taking care of myself, so it has been okay. Wait a minute. I shouldn't be ignoring these different little things like that. Speak a little into that. Echo how far I should be. Am I on the right track or not? I mean, I don't know. It's easy to say these things. I
No,
understand
you
it's hard
got to
to
move.
do, but you gotta.
You got to move, and you got to keep your brain active as well. So, I mean, even if so I've got Pippin, the dog of the Empire right now. So he and I get out and we're walking about 6 miles a day. It's not a marathon, but it's good. Right now I got snakes in the hills, so we can't go hiking because it's rattlesnake season. It just kind of is what it is. But so we're covering 6 miles on the grid of streets every day. It's boring, but it gets us moving. I can't run anymore. I know I can't run anymore. A lot of people my age can, but my knees got dorked up during my time in the Navy. So I know what they can handle. They can handle a good trudge. They can even go uphill for a reasonable amount of time. I did a mountain when I was in Colorado, but I'm not running up the mountain or running down the mountain. But you got to keep moving. I mean, I have a certain calisthenics and weight routine every day that I do. Eating is something we all do, and I know you're right. I sound like I'm on a talk show as an 80-year-old doctor. You know
I know
what?
we
Take the
well,
beetroot. It's the best thing for you.
well, and I think everyone out there would expect that from the two of us at this point, right? I think I think
Yeah.
our reputations are going to be like, oh yeah, it's the dads. They're going to talk to us, and But listen, guys, put a pin in it because here it comes. It's true. Go ahead.
It is. I mean, I drinking and eating. I drink too much, and I know I drink too much. But what I've done to try to balance the scales is I don't eat snacks anymore. I don't eat snacks at all anymore. I eat breakfast. I have an egg, maybe a bagel, and then we have our meal in the afternoon, whatever meal we're going to prepare. Sometimes we're going out, but whatever we're preparing. But I've cut out all there are no chips, crackers, whatever. I don't do that anymore. And I've been just that alone. I did that starting in February of this year. So I'm like, something's got to give. So I've cut that out, and you do what you can. Like I said,
Does that
being physically active, I think, is probably the most important thing.
has that helped you? Have you lost weight, or are you at least maintaining?
Yeah, I dropped about 10 pounds because
Mhm.
of that, and that's still going down. I actually got to take in a notch, so I was
Okay.
pretty happy about that.
Okay.
And then the other side of that is being mentally active. You have to do something. You can't just sit. I mean, I'm retired. I don't have a job that I go to, but I am busy all day doing something, whether I'm out managing the aphid war or just regular gardening, taking care of the fence that has to get mended. And then there's all the stuff with my adult daughter that I have to take care of as well, which is just part of the mix. But then there's the hobby stuff. You got to have a hobby. You can't just be, turning on the set or watching whatever. Reading is a good activity. I mean, that keeps your brain moving as well. But you got to please, for the love of God, I don't care what it is, go fishing, um, take an interest in learning how to smoke meats. It doesn't matter what it is. You and I do nerd stuff. I mean, I collect all this stuff. That's not a super active hobby, but it does keep me interested in things. I've taken a whole new appreciation in music in the modern era now that I'm collecting records. It changes the way you listen to things. Everything isn't just a playlist and, background noise that zips through. Um, you got to do so. And then, of course, the show, which, gets me interacting with, you know, all of our network of people, which is a lot of fun for me. It takes prep. You have to actually commit to things and put things together. So you're creating, a product that people are entertained by while you're, talking about whatever topic you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's so important to kind of have a very fluid and flexible plan. Like, life's going to happen. Roller coaster's going to go up, roller coaster's going to go down, it's going to go sideways on you. I got that. But I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the mandatory nature of having some sort of hobbies and activities, especially if you're going to be a senior that might be alone, or you're headed into your 50s and you might be alone. Those kids are going to go off to college, whatever it may be. It changes dynamics. You'd have to be able to find ways to, and I should say healthy hobbies, right? Because if your hobby is, smoking pot and getting high and to play a video game and not being mobile 2 to 3 hours at a time, a couple times a week, the catch up and the price that you pay for that is so bad and so negative for you. It's not me lecturing you, just like cautioning you. Like, sadly, I wish it wasn't that way. I wish there was no price to be paid for some of these things and activities, but it's just not. I think reading's a big one. I wish we all talk about reading more, but it's one of those things where you kind of have to make an appointment to read things like that in your life. So let's go right into music then, because you opened the door a little bit. I know it's been hard for you, especially this point in your life, to kind of move away from being able to be as active with the band and the music and things like that. So first, catch everybody up on that. Like, what was the music that you were doing and how much you were doing or not, and kind of give a little background, a little elevator pitch on how that all went on.
Okay, time machine. So back to 2003. The band formed back then. My one of my best friends was picking up guitar, and I was helping him just kind of learn the movements of it. He was watching stuff to learn how to play, and then we'd get together more often. Then we brought the drummer in, and then we're actually, I guess that was 2002, because by a year into this, we're pretty well a fully functional band. And we, back in the early parts, you learn covers so that you can learn to play together as a band and just kind of learn music. And then in 2003, we started doing our writing, and then it was all original material from 2003 to 2012, when and the band was Dead as Dillinger out of San Diego. And we were recording and gigging and doing all the fun stuff. And that's on top of, everybody's work career. I was in the Navy, my buddy's in the Navy. One of my other friends is a software engineer for DOD. And, it's just busy, busy, busy life, but we still needed that. So I lost my songwriting partner in 2012, which was sad. He had to transfer up to Washington State. So then we were a three-piece for a couple of years. We lasted until about 2014. We drug it on a little bit longer, got another recording done, and then everything just kind of quieted down for a long time. And then a couple of years ago, we started talking about the idea of doing in-house recordings, and that's where we are now. It sounds like it's easy. Well, you have all the gear. It's actually, I found it less easy to do than if we just booked a studio and went to record for 2 days. Because now I have to wrangle the cats of getting them all together to do their parts, and everything hinges on the drummer. Once the drums are done, everything else is kind of easy. But so now we're doing recordings here, though, still doing original music. We don't do other people's stuff, and I'm trying to finish off the catalog from the Dead as Dillinger era with recordings, and then move into a collection of new songs that I have written, which is pretty significant from post Dead as Dillinger into our next phase. We're still technically a three-piece, but we can record as a four-piece because my guitarist will do the rhythm section, where my buddy is gone now, and fill in the leads as well. And my last time we recorded, the creative blue collar guy, my friend John from San Diego, he lent his voice to the recordings as well. So it's fun doing that stuff because you can do collaborative things that you couldn't do necessarily otherwise. So the Dead as Dillinger recording side, I'm hoping to finish those out this year. So on YouTube, I've got all of our songs up there now, and just kind of is what it is. It's I still like to create music. It's a lot of fun. The devil was a good idea at the time. Now I figured that the choice was mine. I thought it had bled. Everyone I've touched. I see moments play smart and I can pay vain. I don't know how things got so far out of hand. The sun is unforgiving and this is not my land. The sun is unforgiving and
Try to give everybody a little sample of a couple of segments of the song here.
I promise I won't copyright strike you.
All right, put all the links in the description for you guys so you can listen to the whole thing for yourself. First off, let's fix this situation here. Why on earth does it keep doing it? There you go. So you wrote this and you're singing?
Yes, so I'm bass and vocals, and I write the majority of the music and all the lyrics.
Okay, all right. Let's check give me the link for the other one. We'll pull that one next and just kind of give people a little taste, a little dose, and go from there. I hear Pippin.
I said now my dog is barking.
Mine is too.
always have sound. With these sketches I go down to be on.
There you go, folks. Ruin of the Empire.
So those are, I mean, and it's funny because both those songs are older is kind of a relative term, but not really, are older. We just never got to get in the studio and record them. So we finally had this available to us and we recorded them. And I have two more from the Dead as Dillinger era that we need to finish up, and then we move into the next phase of, again, whatever that's going to be. We don't want to sound like we sounded for the last, 20 years. We do want to evolve, musically, introduce some keys. I have another guitarist friend that we want to bring into the mix. So, keeping it interesting for ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be something that you just get excited about doing, right? You get thirsty about doing and really want to get in there and
It's funny.
spin your
It
wheels.
comes in phases.
Sure.
Like I'll be like really amped up. I'm like, I got everything ready to go. And then someone's not available, and then they're not available, and then they're not available. And then my interest is going from here down to a little burnt nugget. And Mrs. of the Empire has to remind me, she's like, you used to like doing this. You used to spend every Friday out in the garage. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I know. Because we had a very, very rigid schedule. Every Friday was sacrosanct. No one was doing anything on Friday unless someone was in jail or dead. You were at practice on Friday. And that's when our massive writing phase, and we were playing quite often around the San Diego club scene. And now it's just, I think the lack of goal, aside from getting the recording done, we don't have shows coming up. We don't have the stuff that we used to have. So it's just real loose. So I mean, I've got all my stuff and I'm sitting here, of course, but I haven't touched the software in a while, so I'm gonna have to relearn things. But my friend down the street, and I'll segue into this. I met him during the lockdown era. My Misses of the Empire ran, and then we were doing walks around the neighborhood. And they started talking, and they asked, well, where's your husband? And we were doing something for the band that night. He's like, oh, he plays. And then, everybody starts talking, and then he's a guitar player. And so we've been actually working together. Oh, golly, maybe the last 3 or 4 months. He's coming over, and we're just jamming, just kind of free flowing, trying to kind of learn the way each other plays music so that can grow into something more interesting. And, maybe we can pull something together and do stage work again, which is something I would love to do. I miss the stage very much.
Yeah.
The garage is fine. This is my stage now, is YouTube, but I miss being on a live stage in front of a crowd of people banging out songs.
All right, folks. Well, we had a little brief interruption there, which we probably could include as an outtake. I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes
It was pretty good.
Sometimes I think about doing outtakes, and then other times I forget. And then because the editing process is like you're trying to move, and next thing you know,
go.
It's got cut. It's in there. It's just you got to go fish it out again. That never happens. So we'll try to get our wheels turning again for this conversation. Sorry about all that, Roman.
No, that was spectacular.
He got to see 3 of the 5 current grandkids, so that they just came barreling into the house in the middle of his story about music, and I was like, wait, I know those voices, so at least give them hellos. So they go in the other room and play for a few minutes. It'll be good. So all right, well, it's good to know that you're dusting off that, at least for now, hobby and that creative spirit and juices. What is because you said there's not a goal, but what would be your first goal or a timeline for the said goal?
So I mean, the loose goal, I mean, it is a goal though, is to get these 2 songs knocked out. It's June now. I'd love to have them done by September. My drummer is Matt, the drummer, as the internet knows him, is over in Europe right now. So once he gets back, I got to lasso all the cats and bring them in. One of the things that I've encountered, and this is actually a problem with a lot of creative process. It's not just what I'm running into, but a lot of people run into this. And I'm not blaming me for this. I'm pushing this off squarely on Matt, the drummer, is perfection versus output. Right now, and again, this could be your writing, your YouTube channel, anything you're doing. What we recorded last year, I was very satisfied with because we got it done. I'm quite pleased with the sound, and I've got something. When you want to change hardware, software in the pursuit of more, and at this point, let's face it, I'm putting out this music. Yes, everyone can listen to it, but we're doing this for us to get it to do it. Everything's kind of come to a halt on that process because he's looking at getting another piece of gear. It's a piece of gear I'm not familiar with. Does it work with the computer? All the questions that go along with that. So perfection can kill a process if it interferes with it too long. You're waiting forever for that perfect verse to come, for that perfect chapter to come. I want to edit my video down to the nitnoid. What do you end up with at the end of the day? Nothing, and frustration. So doing something and getting it out there is better than waiting for perfection and producing nothing. So that's just my end notes on that.
I'm a both and guy on that. Okay, so my thesis would be to Matt the drummer is you do X and you move it forward to its end game, and simultaneously you do X plus Y, meaning Y being the new equipment or whatever new thing has to be changed or whatever. It can't move to its end parallel. It can kind of move forward. Maybe in this timeline, it doesn't make the final recording of, in this analogy, this song, but it moved forward enough for maybe the next song. But it keeps, it has to be a both and, because we can't go, we're going to have this conversation, Roman. I'm going to edit it to perfection. I'm going to edit this cutaway. We're going to have this little clip and we're going to do that. And we're going to okay, how long does that take? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. If I could afford an editor, it takes that time horizon down to, yeah. Okay. That's not on the table right now. Okay. So if I could do that and it'll be done by the end of July. Okay. Well, I can't live with that as my end game. So we try to find nuances. I'm currently working on another video that will be out by the time you're watching this, folks, the one with Arwen. And what happened is we ended up discussing things. I had cutaways in place, and then the editing glitched, and it has to start over again. You have to do it again. So when you have to do things again, both and becomes very frustrating, because now you have a third wrench in the wheel because you're reworking things, and that's very frustrating on your soul. That's really bad for your emotions. And as a creative, that's the worst. If you had it moved forward, to go backwards on things that are not your control. It's different if when it's not your control, it's really demoralizing. And that's kind of where I'm at. And that's why that video took so long, because I had all these Johnny Depp cutaway things in there for this piece. And it was like, all ruined. It's all out of sync. And I think with Matt and the Matts that are out there, it's especially because you're dealing with other people involved as well, which is even more important to have a both and philosophy. But if you're not as a creative, I think you have to kind of manage a both and. And if we took your music and we put it in this bucket over here, my both and would be, okay, well, this has what's the time horizons and stuff we can do over here, and then it's like, oh, I'm writing this other book over here. The both and, everything has their own both ands. And I think that's where you have to keep your brain going and working and keeping yourself from getting too sad or depressed from that not working out. Because if you do, you just get, screw it, I just won't do it. You know what I mean? I think that's why I don't know if you feel that way, but there's times,
and I've said that many times. I'm like, why did I buy all this stuff? Why do I even have it? Why is all this stuff still in my garage? Get it out. I can put a freezer over here instead.
And instead you can go work on your YouTube video, or you can work on your book, or
at least I have, you're right. At least I do have something else. So I want to get this music done. I'm desperate to get. So Matt, if you're watching this video, I would like to get these things done, because the nice thing is, though, once we do start moving, we'll be moving again. We've just been stalemated for so long that it has. Not working on something is demoralizing. It does. It just makes you start shrinking inside you because your care for the project. I'm a guy, and I've told my bandmates this many times, I need something to be working for. Other people can just sit, fiddle, and be happy that they're doing it. I gotta have something I'm working towards. Like maybe it's the military man in me. I need a goal. Otherwise, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
Mm,
I'm not good at that. The Mona Lisa in the closet doesn't serve a purpose. So
mm. All right, I'm switching this back because people can see your name. All right, Mona Lisa in the closet is good. I like that. So let me push that down a little bit then with the YouTube part. Like, what is the goal then? What becomes the end game for you to keep doing a weekly show? Like, why bother? I mean, I don't want to say devil's advocate. I'm actually kind of being a little mean. I personally love the show, you know that, but I'm trying to do. But for somebody out there, they're
well,
like, I'm at
so
300 subscribers. No one's watching. Blah blah blah. It's work, right? So let's talk to
and
them
it
for a
is.
minute.
So YouTube, I mean, aside from getting to talk about things we like, it is a performative thing. If you can't just sit there delivering, well, this week this happened. You're not Walter Cronkite. So it is a performative bit as well. You get to talk about these things that are exciting, but you get to present them in a way that is very much you. Now, uh, my YouTube goals are different than a lot of people. A lot of people are climbers. They want, and good for them. We have many friends in our network that are doing well, and I'm very happy for them. For me, I kind of know my bubble. It just is what it is. My life dictates my availability to do these shows. I'd love to be on YouTube 5 times a week doing, my recorded shows and doing my live Thursday show. It doesn't work out that way. I get a live Thursday show and I can hop on other people's channels when I can. That's okay. I still get to have these conversations, and for me, that's the best part of this is the conversations. And it's not the Mona Lisa in the closet because they are out there. They're out there floating around for whomever wants to watch them can watch them. Uh, if we were doing this in a vacuum, it would not serve as much of a purpose because you do want people to watch as much as I say. I mean, that's important. If no one's watching, that is hard. Um, but you keep at it. And one of the worst things you can do is to stop. So you hit your 200 sub mark and you're like, oh, I'm just going to take a break. Well, now whatever audience you had isn't expecting a show from you. So
Mm.
they aren't looking for you anymore. I took 2 weeks when I went to Colorado, and I came back and I took a viewership hit, and I'm like, oh, whoa, yeah. So it was like, whatever we're doing, we're putting on a show this week, and it was lower, but then the next week we're back up to normal numbers again. I'm like, okay, it was recoverable, but don't if you pause waiting to get your mojo back on doing the YouTube thing, your viewership will lag because you are not there for the viewers, therefore the viewers aren't going to be there for you. I mean, it's a mutually beneficial thing. They get something that's entertaining and you get to talk to somebody.
I want to see more creators. 'Cause I stole this from Loki, then I got Loki to do it for me, and I want to see more people do it. Because the type of shows that we do is a plant your flag this week at this time. This is when the show is. To
Mhm.
have a person that can just do it when you're not there. I mean, you just literally
Yes,
hand the keys that week. In your case, your I guess right hand, my right hand. It would be Shield Wall. Like, Shield Wall is going to
yes.
host the show. Maybe we bring in a couple people who aren't normally part of it to kind of juice it up, maybe a little different in lieu of Roman's absence or whatever. Pops will come on dressed like a breadstick. It'll just be that kind of week. It'll just be that kind of week. And I think it just keeps that flag waving in the wind. You know what I mean? Like okay, yeah, Roman's out of town this week, but the show goes on. And I
Yeah,
know
and
that's hard for creators because a lot of
I should
folks
have done
don't.
it.
Well, a lot of folks don't even have a shield wall, right? They didn't even think
Yeah.
about that, right? They're the thing. They're the thing. And I'm like, listen, I think it works better if you just maybe and go from small to big. Like you said, yeah, sure, I'd be on here every day and I could do, or you say Tuesday at 5:30 or Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, it's 5 p.m. Pacific. That's the showtime. That's it. So it's going to always be a part of things. And if you missed it live, you watch it on
Mhm.
when it uploads, or like me, you're watching it when you drive around and you're doing it 1.5, 2 speed. You're catching up on all the latest scissoring hen jokes from Joker and Untamed Mando, and yeah, it's good stuff. And I think it's a great way, I think. And again, you speak to this because you have some of the creative piles going on as well. It fuels the creativity stuff. It makes it, even if it's just that conversation, just that, 2 hours of talking about a movie that I don't even really like that much, but you know what? I'm hanging out with people that do. We're talking a chat. This was funny. That was good. Oh, I like this. Think of that. Okay. And I just feel rejuvenated from that. It's just the nerd spirit. I call it feeding the nerd spirit. And I think that's what it does for you as well.
No, and in retrospect, I wish I had done that when I went to Colorado. I was like, it'll be okay, but then, but I have done it in the past. Usually I will, it's a day of emergency occurs, and I have a folder set up on Google Drive that I can shift all my slides into that Shield Wall has access to. And so I throw him my script and I'm like, please, for the love of God, make this work. And he's like, yeah, I got it, dude. It's no problem. And he's a very competent host. And the nice thing is we do work with, we have our, we have our standard panel and we bring guests on, but the standard panel knows each other so well at this point that they all can play off each other. They can all guide, because, we're here every week. They can guide the conversation in a way that's not going to be destructive to the channel. But never put anime on, because that kills everything immediately, because the Japanese hate me and I don't know why. So every single time. So then we have a new rules in place when things happen. Like, hey, don't let them do videos anymore. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, having a competent admin co-host friend who can slide into the seat, when that way you keep that momentum going. Because like I said, those 2 weeks did cause me damage, and I've been doing this for 2 years now, so I'm not brand spanking new. I don't have a giant audience, but I have an audience,
right?
So I was like, oh man, I should have done that. So I was really happy when things did have the rebound.
Yeah, that's good.
Avoid the necessity for the rebound and just consistently have your show.
Yeah, and just plan for those vacation days. Just plan for those times off and things like that. Have a plan. Start working on that. I know for Talk Hard, that's what we ultimately worked through. We had 2 or 3 weeks of best of type things, and after that, I was like, or you guys could just do it. We'll just do it without me. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just good. We do it without them. There's times where they can't. So it's been good, and I think that's part of what drives this and makes, I think, it more fun over a longer haul. Take the cuffs off, let different ideas flow, and things like that. So. Let's completely change gears. We're going to go completely a different direction. Let's talk about this action figure thing, man. What is the deal? How does Mrs. Empire roll with the constant ebb and flow and arrival of?
That's a funny question.
Because I know how it is in my house.
So I've been trying to back off on these things. I swear I have. But then I'm gonna share my screen here so you can see what I've got coming in. It's just one, but this one is just I love it so much. There we go. Okay, so when and I've got a live one too. So
oh yeah.
I saw this pop up, and you and I are a certain age. Yeah. We remember Sergeant Rock, and sure. Just last year, Bruce Campbell did a DC horror comic collaboration where it was Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead. The comic was so-so, but it was still fun. So this figure looks really, really good. One of the problems, well, actually, I'm just going to say the sole problem I have with it. DC will not allow McFarlane to provide weapons, guns for their action figures. So you get Sergeant Rock with a shovel, which is just flat out goofy. But that's Jonathan Kent. I yeeted out of where I was, but that's no big deal. That's okay. That's I'll stop here. But I see these things because I follow McFarlane Toys. That's the primary toy company that I collect from. But what they do offer is a way around, because Left Eye Ego, our good friend Left Eye Ego, gave me this Joker figure. It's the Killing Joke Joker.
Okay.
But he comes with a crowbar that's not the Killing Joke Joker. He had a pistol. He shot Barbara Gordon through the midsection, and took away her mobility. So what McFarlane did to get around this, though, and this is pretty cool, is they give you, and I hope it actually shows up. It does. Okay. Deluxe weapon packs. It's so these things are like $14, whatever. That's no big deal. But what they come with, and I hope this shows up and I don't drop weapons all over the place. You get a bevy,
a barrage of weapons,
very cool stuff. Some of it's cooler than others, but all of it is perfect for the action figure in need of a sidearm.
I will do my best to try to find that link or the quote weapon pack. Let me see. I'm going to pull that up here and see if I can find it.
Yeah, it's available on Amazon. Like I said, it's like $14, $15. Yes, it's a lot for just a bunch of guns, but for an action figure like Sergeant Rock, you don't want that dude just waving around a shovel. That's just ridiculous. So, invest that $15 in the weapon pack.
I'll put this link in. Here's one of the examples, folks. This link will be in the description right here for you. This is just.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That's exactly.
Yeah. That'll be one of the. It'll be under the affiliate link button. I put the affiliate link in there. So yes, it's part of my affiliate program and my affiliate pitch. For those of you who haven't heard me rant and rave about the affiliate concept, if you want to buy one, we all shared and had affiliate links, and then we'd all make a couple dollars here and there, and it would pay for the next thing. So I'm the same way. I go into the comic shop and come out, and she looks at you like, "Did you need?" And I'm like, "So I found this."
Oh, what'd you get?
And there's only 1,200 of them.
Ooh.
It's the 70th anniversary Godzilla. It's a virgin cover variant cover. There's only 1,200 like this. So, what I do, and I'm bad. I'm not a good person. I bought 4. I pre-sold one because I called a text Loki. I have 3 more so that hopefully I can sell the 2 and that pays for mine. So I don't have to pay anything. You know what I mean? So I make a couple dollars.
No, that's good. That's a good strategy.
I don't have to make a lot of money, but if I made $5, I sell 3 of them. Now, at least not that it doesn't totally pay for mine, but it gets pretty close. Right. At least it's in the game. And I think that's one of my strategies to keep my costs down for the menagerie of things that are behind me, for sure. So
there is no keeping the cost down in the Empire Studios. Everything is just cash. Yeah. So the army of action figures, which Mrs. of the Empire is not thrilled with. She tolerates it. But we've moved into. I do want to show one more here that I picked up, and hopefully he comes across okay. It's this is also from McFarlane. The dude. Oh. And I saw this and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I have to get this." I have not opened it up yet, but yeah, I saw that it was a little bit more because it's from the Movie Maniacs collection. But
it would be imperative to note that this was completely unplanned and unscripted, right? We should both admit that this is like I don't.
Oh yeah.
The amount of script we have was you sending me a DM with like, here's some ideas I have. And it was like 6 random things. And we've talked about like 3 of them. So you pulled up the dude, just so you know. I'm wearing my dude shirt.
Yeah, man. That's what's like your opinion, man. Yeah.
Just your opinion, man. So yeah, this is the inverse universe thing going on between the 2 of us. Like we're multiverse copies of the same guy.
Awesome.
Just those of you at home. Like
the yin and yang.
It is. Yeah.
That's awesome,
good, man. And I get it because everyone needs to have different things and things like that. So
yeah,
let's be mean and cruel. We'll close with this because I did this. I've heard Matt Walsh and many others attack us for liking our nerd stuff and our toys. It's grown men liking our. What would you say to those people?
It is it's still the appreciation of art. It's a different form of art. It's not unlike, people who collect music, which I also do, or paintings, stamp collectors. I mean, that's a form of art as well. You find something that you very much enjoy and you attach yourself to that thing. People like all kinds of things. I think spoon collecting is a mildly ridiculous hobby, but a lot of people love it. It doesn't matter. it's that thing that scratches that mental itch you have, something that you gravitate towards, and you don't even necessarily know why you love it. I know why I love these things, but the what almost doesn't matter. But I think it's important to have something. I can't just yell about political stuff all the time. What would that make me? And my heart is black and thorny as it is. I need something that I really just enjoy and appreciate for what it is. So attacking nerd culture is no different than, okay, I can attack your political culture. All you want to do is yell about the state of things, okay, which I understand and appreciate, but it's the same idea. Is it a frivolity? A bit, but it's something I love. Why do I love it? Because I like the ideals that superheroes speak to. I like the redemption arcs. I like it when the good guys win. I like when the good guys come back from a terrible defeat. But that's what all of this represents to me. That's mentally, when I see these things, that's what I think about. So collect your stamps, collect your spoons, have your political arguments, but find something that you actually love and follow it, not just something that you want to be mad
better
about.
response than I have for these people. He's in a better place than that with me. Until my retirement's done for him, I'm still mean about it. I'm like, do you think you're upsetting me? We're nerds have been picked on our whole lives. Do you think that I'm remotely phased? Like calling a bunch of guys that are buying expensive toys names is remotely? Yeah. So I get it. No, I think you're 100% right. It's a modern mythology, right? So it's the modern mythology. If they had a way to have plastic action figures in ancient Rome, they all would have had little god action figures. There would be little Zeus and Mercury action figures for kids. And it would just stop already with just hating anyone else's stuff. Just have stuff to do, have fun, and just enjoy each day. Because who knows when the sun doesn't rise, and just do what you can while you got it. So
Truth.
Brother, we drove all over the road. We drove all over the road. I loved it. Thank you for this, my friend. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me. I always enjoy our conversations. They're a lot of fun.
What did we not?
I enjoy that our different perspectives on things as well. You are the bright center of the galaxy, and I am its dark heart.
I don't know about that. I think on this last topic, I was the reverse, but I think it's the inverse universe thing. It's the inverse universe thing of one another for sure. I think. Yeah. So, all right, that's cool. That's good. And we have a lot of the similar stuff because we're similar age, things like that. We didn't get to it, so I'm going to have you back. We'll talk about some other stuff because like Saturday morning cartoons is sort of like, it's like a dead thing. I'd love to see it come back, and I don't know how it could come back. And physical media.
The problem with the morning cartoon that we grew up with is that form of entertainment in that specific time slot doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah, there's no event television anyway, right? So it's
streaming is streaming. Once it's there, it's there.
2 or 3 shows that do like an event. Like, I mean, really only House of Dragon really is probably the only one, because even with the Acolyte thing, most people are just like, I'll get to it when I get to it. They're not like, oh, it's going to be at 8 p.m. We're all going to watch it live. And that doesn't happen, so that's dead. Physical media is, I mean, I know people, I love physical media. Well, you know what? No one's buying it. I got a lot of stuff. I keep throwing more things out there in the stores and whatever and trying. And it's like, guys, I can't move this stuff. So, but I'm still trying, plugging away. I dusted off the old press credentials. I got Welcome Back Carter, Roman. They sent me Welcome Back Carter on physical media. It's the best. It's so much fun watching Welcome Back Carter, which is free on Tubi. However, it's cool to have the physical discs. It's just, and then I just got Dexter Lab, and just tons of stuff just keeps rolling in. And I think there's things like that we should be discussing and trying to hammer out some other thoughts. So have you back for that, my friend. So
I'm in.
All right, folks, listen, I will try to add, if I missed a link, folks, just message me, because there's probably not enough links to give the guy his due. He's over there now. Give his guys due. And you know what? Having fun, hanging out. It's a great show to hang out on Thursdays, by the way. Make sure you're doing that. And listen, Roman, brother, I love you, man. Hanging out with you is always fun. And it's great to call you friend. And just go on one day at a time, man.
Right on, right on.
Everybody out there, you be blessed. Talk hard. Till next time, I am Pops. Who came to see me?
Hey!
Come here.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. No, we just took a pause. Roman can handle it. Roman's fine. Say hi, Roman.
Hi.
Here, I'll make
hi,
him
guys.
see him. Hey.
Ah,
There you are.
hey,
Yeah,
how are
there
you?
are. There you are. See you guys. You say hi.
Hi.
All right. Oh, little man.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Man.
look
Hi,
at that.
Hey,
Look at that
buddy.
great round head.
I know
Oh,
the
that's
great Charlie
spectacular.
Brown. We've got the Charlie Brown. Like, wait, what is that? What is that?
Hi there.
Say hi.
Hi. I know who's the weird guy in the other
I
world.
know.
I know.
Uh,